I feel really fortunate to have grown up in Maine, being so close to nature and having time and space to explore and sort of develop a sense of curiosity. Photography has always been a medium of wonder for me. A light traced in precious metal, and there's something just inherently beautiful about that. A lot of my work is based on everyday phenomenon and simple science projects. Photography has always been a scientific medium. You look at the early work of Talbot, and he was not only trying to figure out what was technically possible, but just what was visually possible. And I think everybody working in photography at some point wants to reach back to that moment of the beginning, to just kind of stay curious and just continue to see what's possible within the medium. I've always been fascinated by especially Muybridge and even the work of E.J. Murray, early scientific studies of motion. Dr. Edgerton, I try to pay homage to him as often as possible, but obviously from much simpler means. I think what fascinates us all about his work is just seeing the world in such a brief and just the explosive moment of light. And a lot of my work is based on ideas of energy and motion and time, especially my work using pendulums and candles. In a way, there's a connection between the motion of a pendulum and its influence from Earth's gravitational field, and even the motion of the moon around the Earth and the Earth around the sun, and the entire motion of the universe. I feel like with my cameraless work, such as the pendulum piece, there's very little of my hand in it. I mean, I sort of create that arena for it to be rendered, but really it's sort of the candle and the wax dripping on the photo paper, and then the interaction of the photo paper in the chemistry, and what happens there that is the image. And I really like all those uncontrolled sort of chaotic events, the splatters, and just the natural tendencies of those materials and objects interacting. Once the pendulum has lost all of its energy and it stops moving, I will take the paper into the darkroom and process them individually, one sheet at a time. And the wax will actually make it through the first developing process. It will actually stick to the emulsion, creating kind of a resist. Now I use a red candle because in a way it mimics the red light, the safe light of a darkroom. Photo paper is manufactured to not be sensitive to red and slightly orange light. So using a red candle, I like to think that each drop then becomes kind of a safe light filter, preventing further exposure by the bright flame of the candle. I also, through a variety of chemical processes, use a very dilute developer and a very short development time initially to kind of just give a nice sort of smoky gray background. And inherently or inevitably throughout the process, some of the wax will start to fall off the paper. And as I continue to process it, more and more wax falls off, and it reveals undeveloped undeveloped areas of the photo paper that can then be put back through the chemistry and allow tone to build up on it. So it's a very repetitive process. And usually in the darkroom, the chemistry is sort of a one-way street, and I kind of like this idea of finding a way to sort of loop back and try something new with the medium. I always wanted to sort of do something using either the light of the moon or the stars. So with this new work, I'm trying to make images of star trails. As the Earth rotates at night, the stars appear to move through the sky. But instead of putting my camera on a tripod, I was actually laying on the ground and placing the view camera on my solar plexus, leaving the shutter open, and then trying to stay still for 2 to 3 hours, and just as the camera would rise and fall with my breath. And yeah, I was really amazed that it actually worked. You can see each rise and fall of the chest and actually see the gradual arc of the star trail through the night sky. There's something really simple and beautiful about that gesture to me. The further we get along into a digital realm, a virtual realm, we're drawn back to some sort of, I guess, real, if you will, I don't know if that's the right word, but some sort of tangible experience that we all kind of crave. So for me, I guess working with one-of-a-kind photographic objects is me kind of tapping into that desire.